morning, my friends. God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friend, sing Hosanna, Hosanna, hallelujah, hallelujah, Allah, in the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love, our spirits are illumined as we glorify His name. Our hearts are blessed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good my friend, my friend. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friend, my friend. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. You know, actually, as I told you earlier, I'm having a little bit of an issue. It's allergy time for me. You could hear it right there. It's allergy time for me. So every time we sing a song, I don't know what's going to happen. Even when we read, I don't know what's going to happen. Let me hit this real quick. I actually meant to bring my drink here with me, but I did not. And I actually am quite, I'm feeling good other than that, because as you know, the lovely and talented Nini Ha is with us today.
Absolutely.
Yes. Always to make the nippy over real good. And we have Farah and Kambiz and Giti and Husham. And out there working with kids is Tarane. How you doing this morning, Kambiz? Good to see you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Good morning.
It's great to see you. Great to see you. We were having a couple of little minor issues, and so we're getting started just a couple of minutes late. But let's start with a quick prayer and then get into our readings for today. I'll tell you what, this is one of my favorite prayers by Abdul-Baha. O Lord, my God, assist thy loved ones to be firm in thy faith, to walk in thy ways, to be steadfast in thy cause. Give them thy grace to withstand the onslaught of self and passion, to follow the light of divine guidance. Thou art the powerful, the gracious, the self-subsisting, the bestower, the compassionate, the almighty, the all-bountiful. And again, this is a prayer by Abdul-Baha. Now, as you know, folks, just a reminder, we've been in this book for a few weeks now, a good while now. No, we're on chapter 11, but we've split up a couple of chapters. So we're probably into week 12 or 13 with this particular book. And oh boy, thank you. I have a drink over here. I'm just, I'm feeling a nice warm glow right now. Anyway, good. The book that we're using, of course, is The Proofs of Baha'u'llah's Mission. And we're in the middle of a two-parter. The chapter that we started last week is, as you know, in previous chapters, we talked about the fact, or read about the fact that, you know, God's manifestations come and they're often rejected, and they're often rejected by, you know, sometimes people in power and people who are expecting a new revelation or a manifestation or a return. And yet, when the manifestation of God returns in the form of a human being, they're often rejected. And so that's what this chapter is about. It explains, it says, understanding, this is the title of this chapter, chapter 11, understanding why people reject God's manifestation. Understanding why people reject God's manifestation. And they gave us 7 reasons. Now, we only got through, did we get through 3 or 4 last?
We got through 3.
Yeah, I thought so, but I in reading 4, I said, that sounds familiar, but I wasn't sure. And so very quickly, to list the first 3 reasons that Baha'u'llah and Abdul-Baha point out as reasons that people reject the manifestation of God. Reason number 1, they being the people, they are veiled and refuse to investigate truth. They are veiled and refuse to investigate truth. Reason number 2, they weigh the cause of God with their own deficient knowledge. They weigh the cause of God with their own deficient knowledge. I want to go into so much detail, but I'm resisting that because we have so much to cover. And finally, that we covered last week, reason number 3, they blindly follow the clergy. They blindly follow the clergy. And so with that, and without further explanation or further ado, we are going to list reason number 4 that will help us understand why people reject God's manifestation. Daryl, if you'd be so kind.
Reason number 4 is that they fail to understand that a new manifestation must appear. When the unseen, the eternal, the divine essence caused the day star of Muhammad to rise above the horizon of knowledge, among the cavils which the Jewish divines raised against them was that after Moses, no prophet should be sent by a sent of God. Yea, mention hath been made in the scriptures of a soul who must needs be made manifest and who will advance the faith and promote the interest of the people of Moses, so that the law of the Mosaic dispensation may encompass the whole earth. Thus hath the King of eternal glory referred in his book to the words uttered by those wanderers in the veil of remoteness and error. The hand of God, say the Jews, is chained up. I'll say that again. The hand of God, say the Jews, is chained up. Chained up be their own hands. And for that which they have said, they were accursed. Nay, outstretched are both his hands. The hand of God is above their hands.
I love that. And I might say, the emphasis you put in there, I thought it was perfect. That's the speech teacher in me coming out. But go ahead.
Although the commentators of the Quran have related, although the commentators of the Quran have related in diverse manners the circumstances attending the revelation of this verse, yet thou shouldest endeavor to apprehend the purpose thereof. He saith, how false is that which the Jews have imagined? How can the hand of him who is the king in truth, who caused the countenance of Moses to be made manifest, and conferred upon him the robe of prophethood, how can the hand of such a one be chained and fettered? How can he be conceived as powerless to raise up yet another messenger after Moses? Behold the absurdity of their saying, how far it had strayed from the path of knowledge and understanding. Observe how in this day also all these people have occupied themselves with such foolish absurdities. For over 1,000 years, they have been reciting this verse and unwittingly pronouncing their censure against the Jews, utterly unaware that they themselves openly and privily, are voicing the sentiments and belief of the Jewish people.
Okay, Harold, I got to stop you there. Because that's a lot. That's an awful lot. And I think that, again, from a listener's standpoint, this is an awful lot of information. We have the benefit of being able to read it and reread it and reread it. And if you have this book at home, obviously you have the same benefit. But basically, I guess what Baha'u'llah here is saying that, the people of the Jewish faith said that revelation stopped there, even though they were waiting for another messenger or prophet. And then when Jesus came, they said, no, this isn't it, and they said the hand of God is chained up. And it said, and chained up. And Baha'u'llah goes on to say, chained up be their own hands. Actually, this is part of the quote that Baha'u'llah is sharing. Chained up be their own hands. And for that which they have said, they were accursed. Nay, outstretched are both his hands. It's like saying, no, the hand of God through revelation is still outstretched. And so when Muhammad came, they were also saying that, no, there can't be another messenger. And Muhammad was the next messenger. Well, then the Muslims were basically making the same argument. And all throughout the ages, there have been these manifestations. And basically, where is that part? I don't want to dwell on this. How can the hand of him who is the King of truth, who caused the countenance of Moses to be made manifest and conferred upon him the robe of prophethood, how can the hand of such a one be chained and fettered? How can he be conceived as powerless to raise up yet another messenger after Moses? But then later on, he goes on and says, but the Muslims they're making the same argument about the Bab and Baha'u'llah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just felt like I probably took too long. It took longer than just reading it. Hi, Gilbert. We didn't see you come in. Good morning, Gilbert. Okay,
Good morning,
Gerald. Okay, sorry, I had to stop you there.
Thou art truly aware of their idle contention, that all revelation is ended, that the portals of divine mercy are closed, that from the day springs of eternal holiness no sun shall rise again, that the ocean of everlasting bounty is forever stilled, and that out of the tabernacle of ancient glory, the messengers of God has ceased to be made manifest. Such is the measure of the understanding of these small-minded, contemptible people. These people have imagined that the flow of God's all-encompassing grace, all plenteous mercies, that the cessation of which no mind can contemplate has been halted.
In other words, they've
Obviously, it has not been halted.
Exactly.
Next reason, they fail to understand that the law of religion must be renewed in the same way that a new messenger must come. The law of religion has to be renewed like all things in creation. And when the days of Moses were ended, and the light of Jesus shining forth from the dayspring of the Spirit encompassed the world, all people of Israel arose in protest against it. These are the Jews, rose in protest against Jesus. They clamored that he whose advent the Bible had foretold must needs promulgate and fulfill the laws of Moses, whereas this youthful Nazarene who laid claim to the station of the divine Messiah, had annulled the law of divorce and of the Sabbath day, the most weighty of all the laws of Moses. So when Christ came, he changed things, and he changed a few of the laws. Among them is the tradition, and when the standard of truth is made manifest, the people of both the East and West curse it. The wine of renunciation must needs be quaffed. The lofty heights of detachment must needs be attained. And the meditation referred to in the words, 1 hour's reflection is preferable to 70 years of pious worship, must needs be observed. So the secret of the wretched behavior of the people might be discovered. Those who, despite the love and the yearning for truth which they profess, curse the followers of truth when once he hath been made manifest. To this truth, the above mentioned tradition beareth witness. It is evident that the reason for such behavior is none other than the annulment of those rules, customs, habits, and ceremonials to which they had been subjected. Otherwise, were the beauty of the merciful to comply with the same rules and customs which were current among the people, and were he to sanction their observances, such conflict and mischief would in no wise be made manifest in the world.
That's a lot again. That's an awful lot again. I'm trying to find a way to, I mean, it's clear, but again, I think it's easier when you're reading it than when you're hearing it. And that's why I sometimes feel like maybe that needs to be broken down a little bit. You got a way of.
Well, you have to understand that each manifestation, when he comes, he changes things. He changes rules and laws so that the old laws need to be discarded, because the new laws refer to and are current for that day.
For those conditions of that day, yes.
Of that world.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a natural result of the maturing of man's spirit. As God saw that man as an infant could only understand certain things, the laws for that day were relevant to man's limited understanding. And as man matured, God sent a manifestation. Each manifestation brings new laws, and according to whatever man's age of maturity is at the time.
Daryl, I'm so glad you said that, because I was trying to formulate a simple explanation. Wasn't going to sound anything like that. And it would have been even more difficult to wrap your brain around than what's in the text. I just think that I really appreciate the way you you framed that. I think that was excellent. Thank you so much. So you want to continue this section?
Sure.
Okay.
Behold how, notwithstanding these similar traditions, they idly contend that the laws formerly revealed must in no wise be altered. This is their intransigence about, saying, well, it was good enough for my father, it's good enough for me. It's good enough for that religion, and it's good enough, and it's what I've grown up with my whole life, so it must stay. And we hold on to those traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we hold on to them at our own peril.
That's true.
And yet, is not the object of every revelation to effect transformation in the whole character of mankind, a transformation that shall manifest itself both outwardly and inwardly, that shall affect both its inner life and external conditions. For if the character of mankind be not changed, the futility of God's universal manifestations would not be apparent.
Or would be apparent.
The futility would be apparent.
I I mean, this is a very weighty question. I mean, I know it's actually a rhetorical question that Baha'u'llah is asking here. But he says, behold, how notwithstanding these and similar traditions, they idly contend that the laws formerly revealed must in no wise be altered. So that's what the receivers of the new revelation, those that receive it but don't believe it, that's what they contend. Hey, what are you doing changing things? Nothing is supposed to change. They idly contend that the laws formerly revealed must in no wise be altered. And yet, this is the question: is not the object of every revelation, I love the fact that it rhymes, is not the fact of every revelation is not the fact of every, there we go again, and yet is not the object, the reason, is not the object of every revelation to effect a transformation. Revelation to effect a transformation in the whole character of mankind.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think about how it really, to me, it just totally changes the purpose and reason of revelation. You think about it, in the past, I'll just speak for myself. I considered revelation as, it's announcement, well, things are going to change, but also revelation is connected with judgment, and judgment, everybody's supposed to go up to, in the Christian tradition. But this is saying, no, the object of revelation is to effect a transformation in the whole character of mankind. I'm kind of thinking, y'all ain't going nowhere. You're supposed to stay here, take this new information, and change. To effect a transformation in the whole character of mankind, a transformation that shall manifest itself both outwardly and inwardly.
Absolutely.
That shall affect both its inner life and external conditions. I mean, that's a heavy question that I got to admit, I've read this before, but until I heard you read it, had not interpreted it that way. For if the character of mankind be not changed, the futility of God's universal manifestations would be apparent. If our character doesn't change, then all of this is just
for naught.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to circle all of this. I don't belong a lot of it, but I've got to maybe put a star there too for that. I know I'm coming back to that. I don't know. It's what, 10:26? You feel like doing a song?
Sure.
Okay. Folks, this next song is a song we haven't done. You and I haven't done this for years together. Other than practicing it a little earlier this morning. But I want you to know that much of what we're reading is coming from a book by Baha'u'llah called The Book of Certitude, in which it's actually called the Kitabi Igan, but that translates to the Book of Certitude, not servitude, but certitude. And it actually, I don't have that book here. But the Book of Certitude. And it actually explains the specifics of Revelation. Much of what we're reading now, what you're hearing is coming from the Book of Certitude. And certitude, I don't know about you, but when I started reading, before I started reading the Baha'i writings, I had never heard the word certitude. Okay. I mean, it basically means certainty or right. It is certainty. Right. It's not just believing, it's certainty. And so this song is called Certitude. 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 When I hear the words of my Lord, it fills me with such joy and gladness. Tells me his just like a brand new dawning, sun streaming through the clouds in the morning. And I know this whole world is being renewed, and His word brings His love to my heart, to my soul, and it fills me with certitude. Certitude, certitude. Sometimes I can't help crying. I hear His word and the pain just eases. It's like my spirit is crying on holy breezes. Sometimes I can't help sighing. His word reminds me He'll never leave me. His love and spirit will never, ever deceive me. And I know this whole world is being renewed, and His word brings His love to my heart, to my soul, and it fills me with certitude. Certitude, certitude, certitude. He said, I am His lamp, His light is in me. He created me rich, shed His favor on me, and I know the soul world is being renewed, and His word brings His love to my heart, to my soul, and it fills me with certitude. Certitude, 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 certitude.
Certitude.
Sound problems. Little onomatopoeia there. Alliteration, certitude and sound problems. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
All right. So we got here to reason number 6.
Okay, now Daryl, wait a minute. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. I just want to again remind people, we're talking 7 reasons that people reject God's manifestation. And we started out, but I want to relist them very, very quickly. They're veiled and refuse to investigate truth. They weigh the cause of God with their own deficient knowledge. They blindly follow the clergy. They fail to understand a new manifestation must appear. And 5, they fail to understand that the law of religion must be renewed. I like to think updated, but the law of religion must be renewed. You want to go ahead and
I think there's a distinction to be made between updated and renewed. Okay.
Yeah, maybe my way's not good enough.
Well, I think renewal says that we're not necessarily trashing everything that came before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are, in fact, just kind of reminding you that there was some value to what came before.
Oh, I love that. Because, I mean, yeah, obviously, I mean, I say obviously it's true, but maybe it's not obvious, but yeah. So you're right. I mean, there are only certain laws that are abrogated and new laws brought in, but the whole previous, dispensation isn't trashed. It's,
That's
yeah,
right.
it's simply,
It
again,
still has value.
right. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. Please continue.
Reason number 6, they fail to understand the meaning of the holy books. Those words uttered in the luminaries of truth, those words uttered by the luminaries of truth must needs be pondered, and should their significance be not grasped, enlightenment should be sought from the trusters of the depositories of knowledge, that these may expound their meaning and unravel their mysteries. For it behooveth no man to interpret the holy words according to his own imperfect understanding, nor having found them to be contrary to his inclination and desires, to reject and repudiate their truth. For such, today is the manner of the diverse and doctors of the age, who occupy the seats of knowledge and learning, and who have named ignorance knowledge. For such, today is the manner of the divines and doctors of the age, who occupy the seats of knowledge and learning, and who have named ignorance knowledge and called oppression justice. Were these to ask the light of truth concerning those images which their idle fancy hath carved, and were they to find his answer inconsistent with their own conceptions and their own understanding of the book, they would assuredly denounce him who is the mind and wellhead of all knowledge as the very negation of understanding. Such things have happened in every age.
Okay, I gotta stop you there. I know we're kind of running short on time, but I just think that in this section, again, they fail to understand the meaning of the holy books is the title of this section. And there are a couple of things in here that I just think they are so significant. Let's say, it behooveth no man to interpret the holy words according to his own imperfect understanding.
Exactly.
Nor having found them to be contrary to his inclinations and desires, to reject and repudiate their truth. In other words, if you don't like it, you can just push it aside. No, having found them to be contrary to his inclination, desires, to reject and repudiate their truth. No, you're not supposed to be doing that. And he said, but for such today is the manner of the divines and doctors of the age, who occupy the seats of knowledge and learning, and who have named ignorance knowledge, and called oppression justice.
Right.
That phrase, called oppression justice, and named ignorance knowledge, and called oppression justice. To me, it just speaks so much of this revelation where, oh wow, I wish I hadn't started the thought, because it's, I'm going to go on too long with it. It's just that it to me, it frames the conditions of today so perfectly, and maybe of past revelations too, in relative ways. But yes, again, have named ignorance knowledge and called oppression justice. You don't have to go past what you see on the nightly news.
That's right.
To see oppression being called justice. So yeah, okay, I'll stop there. Continue, please.
So I'll let you continue.
All righty, okay. Well, then now
Reason number 7.
Reason number 7, the final reason that, why people reject God's manifestation. And the title of this last reason is God tests humanity. God tests humanity. I feel like I want to do the song Test Over. But we won't.
Right.
Know verily that the purpose underlying all these symbolic terms and abstruse allusions which emanate from the revealers of God's holy cause. Those are the manifestations of God, the revealers of God's holy cause. Know thou, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have stopped there. Know verily that the purpose underlying all these symbolic terms and abstruse allusions hath been to test and prove the peoples of the world, to test and prove the peoples of the world, that thereby the earth of the pure and illuminated hearts may be known from the perishable and barren soil, that thereby the earth of the pure and illuminated hearts may be known from the perishable and barren soil. From time immemorial, such hath been the way of God amidst his creatures, and to this testify the records of the sacred books. You know, we could talk a lot about separating sheep from goats and, putting seeds on sandy or rocky land, et cetera, making sure that it falls on fertile soil and so forth. And now this next section actually comes from Gleanings, also from Baha'u'llah, but comes from a different book called Gleanings. He who is the dayspring of truth is no doubt fully capable of rescuing from such remoteness wayward souls and of causing them to draw nigh unto his court and attain his presence. In quotes, if God had pleased, he had surely made all men one people, unquote. His purpose, however, is to enable the pure in spirit and the detached in heart to ascend by virtue of their own innate powers unto the shores of the most great ocean, that thereby they who seek the beauty of the all-glorious may be distinguished and separated from the wayward and perverse. Thus hath it been ordained by the all-glorious and resplendent pen, that the manifestations of divine justice, the day springs of heavenly grace, have, when they appeared amongst men, always been destitute of all earthly dominion and shorn of the means of worldly ascendancy, should be attributed to the same principle of separation and distinction which animated the divine purpose. In other words, they don't come looking and acting like a king. They don't come with the trappings of a king.
Of royalty.
That's right, of royalty, that's right. They have appeared amongst men. They have always been destitute of all earthly dominion and shorn of the means of worldly ascendancy. Were the eternal essence to manifest all that is latent within him, the eternal essence in capital, so that's again a reference to God and or the manifestation of God. Were the eternal essence to manifest all that is latent within him, were he to shine in the plenitude of his glory, none would be found to question his power or repudiate his truth. Nay, all created things would be so dazzled and thunderstruck by the evidences of his light as to be reduced to utter nothingness. How then can the godly be differentiated under such circumstances from the froward? How can the sheep be separated from the goats? Those are my words. How then can the godly be differentiated under such circumstances from the froward? This principle hath operated in each of the previous dispensations and been abundantly demonstrated. It is for this reason that in every age, when a new manifestation hath appeared and a fresh revelation of God's transcendent power was vouchsafed unto men, they that misbelieved in him, deluded by the appearance of the peerless and everlasting beauty in the garb of mortal men, have failed to recognize. He looks just like a regular person. They have erred from his path and eschewed his company, the company of him who is the symbol of the nearness to God, They have even arisen to decimate the ranks of the faithful and to exterminate such as believed in him. And then again, from the Kitabi God. This is the final thing that Baha'u'llah says in this chapter. Meditate profoundly, that the secret of things unseen may be revealed unto you, that you may inhale the sweetness of a spiritual and imperishable fragrance, and that you may acknowledge the truth that from time immemorial, even unto eternity, the Almighty hath tried and will continue to try his servants, so that light may be distinguished from darkness, truth from falsehood, right from wrong, guidance from error, happiness from misery, and roses from thorns, even as he hath revealed. Do men think when they say we believe, they shall not, let me start that again. Even as he hath revealed. Do men think when they say we believe, they shall be let alone and not be put to proof? That's kind of scary, isn't it? It's like the endings, when oh boy, there's going to be a sequel. It's a movie, Do men think when they say we believe, they shall be let alone and not be put to proof? This is a lot of information.
Well, let's just say that the test is imminent.
Yes.
And will be forever imminent.
Yes. Just saying you believe and then go on about your day and living your life or whatever way you may have been living it before, without actually, again, accepting the word of manifestation of God, that ain't good enough.
Right.
Yeah. Whew. Again, this is it's a lot of information, and we hope that we presented it as clearly as we possibly can. Yes. Oh, she wants to show the book to the Facebook folks. It is, we've only got about 14 minutes left. I wanted to do another song. We obviously had some sound problems, but I don't think we're going to be able to today, not except for our final song. But at this time, if anyone would like to offer a prayer or a reading
or a song,
this is that time. And as always, we like to begin with our Camby's moment. Camby's, do you have something to share with us today?
Sure, if I may.
Please do.
Okay. والله ای یار عبدالبها، چشمه خورشید عنایت پرجوش است، چشمت روشن و از این فیض رحمت الهی مستفیض شو. امکان ظلمت اندر ظلمت است و ملکوت رحمان نور اندر نور. پس وجه و طرب نما که از این پرتو تقدیس دل صحرا تور گشت و لمعه نور برافروخت و جلوه الطاف جمیع اطراف را روشن نمود. ای نی
Thank you, Camby's.
I'm sorry. I'd like
You're
to
welcome.
say a healing prayer for Mrs. Melanian, who is ill with pancreatic cancer. Glory be to thee, O Lord my God. I beg of thee by thy name, through which he who is thy beauty hath been established upon the throne of thy cause, and by thy name through which thou changest all things, and gatherest together all things, and callest to account all things, and rewardest all things, and preservest all things, and sustainest all things. I beg of thee to guard this handmaiden who hath fled for refuge to thee, and hath sought the shelter of him in whom thou thyself art manifest, and hath put her whole trust and confidence in thee. She is sick, O my God, and hath entered beneath the shadow of the tree of thy healing, afflicted, and hath fled to the city of thy protection, diseased, and hath sought the fountainhead of thy favors, sorely vexed, and hath hasted to attain the wellspring of thy tranquility, burdened with sin, and hath set her face towards the court of thy forgiveness. Attire her by thy sovereignty and thy loving kindness, O my God, and my beloved, with the raiment of thy balm and thy healing, and make her quaff of the cup of thy mercy and thy favors. Protect her, moreover, from every affliction and ailment, from all pain and sickness, and from whatsoever may be abhorrent unto thee. Thou in truth art immensely exalted above all else except thyself. Thou art verily the healer, the all-sufficing, the preserver, the ever-forgiving, the most merciful.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share a prayer or psalm or reading? Give us just a moment to reposition that camera here. I was going to say, Daryl, I need to give us some camera repositioning. Again, thank you, Farah. Thank you, Camby's. At this time, it's important to always, as we always like to share with you, this is a, were you going to do it?
No.
Oh, let me check. Hang on 1 second. Want to. It's fine. It's not too loud.
There you go.
Huh?
There you go.
Okay. Well, again, we always like to share that this is a joint community effort from several communities, generally here in the Tampa Bay area. Hey, there's John. John and Simone. Again, this is a joint community effort. We like to come to you every Sunday at about 10 a.m. And for those of you who would be interested in getting more information about the Baha'i faith, or maybe even getting your own copy of the material that we read from, there are certain different websites that you can go to that are, again, authoritative, what's the word I'm looking for? Just authoritative websites. And what are those websites, Daryl?
They are www.baha'is.us, www.baha'is.org, And if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area and would like more information, you can contact the clearwaterbaha'is.org. And I want to add one to our list. It is Baha'íTeachings.org. This is one that I just learned of recently, and a lot of information about the Baha'i faith on that website. And a lot of new Baha'is are coming to us actually from that particular website.
Really? Baha'íTeachings.org?
Baha'íTeachings.org.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that, because I gotta go look at that myself. No, I didn't know about that. Really appreciate that. And I often forget, and I want to make sure I don't forget this morning, that there is another devotional that is 24-hour devotional. Some of the good Baha'is here in the area and other Baha'is around the world keep this devotional going 24 hours. And it's a Zoom devotional. You can go at any time, day or night, and hear people pray or pray yourself, your songs, or sing yourself, and or read writings of your choosing, spiritual writings of your choosing. And once again, I guess I probably need to have a sign for that, but I'm just going to go ahead and say the number like I always have. If you want to do that, and we hope you do, the Zoom number is 896-7908-9490. Again, 896-7908-9490. And the password is 24. As in 24 hours, 24, not the word, but simply the numbers, 24. So that's the 24-hour devotional. Okay. And, we've got the windows open here, and I don't know how the weather is where you all are, but here it is absolutely amazing. We feel what feels like, at least our version of fall, sort of like well, either way, it's very nice, very cool. The
Beautiful
humidity
day.
is down. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And again, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us. And as we always like to say, as Daryl, we always like to say, Daryl, what is it you always say again?
If you do nothing else this week, make sure that you share the love and spread it around.